And then I think within a few weeks we had 30,000 downloads.
Can you tell us a little bit about you and your career, if possible?
Sure. My name's Janson, affectionately known as KJ. I've been in the tech game now for about 22 years. You can cut my pretty much career in a beautiful half, where I spent the first decade predominantly in the agency advertising space. And then the second half, I went into more the corporate world, working the likes of Qantas, Fox Sports, and then Amazon in Japan. And now I'm at a telco called Superloop.
For my next question, can you tell us a little bit more about Superloop, about your
Yeah,
company?
sure. So Superloop's a challenger telco brand in Australia. The telco brand, the telco category in Australia has about a 33% market share in compared to the three big incumbents. When I started, Superloop was only a very small player. Um, we had, I think, 100,000 subscriptions when I started. Fast forward 2 years, just a little bit over 2 years now, and the strategy that we've implemented, the rebrand, and all the good work that's been put in by the entire organization and our vendors, we're now up to 450,000 subs,
Wow.
and everything's just sort of skyrocketing. And yeah, all the PR that you've probably seen in the media is true
Yeah,
in terms of
that's
success.
very impressive. And so, what is your role at Superloop?
Yeah, I look after design and experience. So the first 12 months when I started, I looked after two teams. The first team was really building the capability of experience and that entire practice of user experience design, content strategy, content design on our platform channels. And when I say platform channels, that's our website, that's our dashboard, our native app. And then on the other hand, I was also looking after our content and campaign marketing team. So that's the team that looks after a lot of the marketing and brand campaigns that you see in market to essentially pull traffic back onto the website. But
Yeah.
now the last 12 months, I've shifted more really to focus on just.
What were the main challenge that you have or that you have currently at Superloop? Like, what's the big goal for you or the main frustrations?
Um, there's a few. I think one of the main things that we're really trying to focus on over the next 24 months is really creating better self-service products. Essentially, how can we optimize the customer service end, meaning what processes and what technology can we activate that customers don't feel like they need to call the call center every time, every
Yeah.
time they have a problem. What can we do to automate a lot of those process? Um, Superloop has a great service. It's got a great business model. It's actually truly different to our competitors. It was because we have our own essentially fiber network that we run ourselves, so we're not sharing it or we're not white labeling it anywhere. So we have the technology to provide great internet. What we need to do now is to match the self-service capabilities on the customer end so that they can feel empowered to execute and utilize those services.
Now, when we started working together, we started talking about the mobile app, the Superloop mobile app project back in mid to late 2022. What were the drivers behind building the mobile app? What was the main drivers from the business?
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because it's one of those things where, you know, small things, big things start off as little things. It was literally a conversation I had with my direct manager. Uh, we were, we had this huge project to relaunch our entire brand, which was also our 3-year strategy. So we're launching this new brand around our own network, our innovation around how fast we can provide internet, how quickly we can provide internet, all backed around strapline that talked about refresh your internet. We essentially want to refresh the entire category. So one of the motivations, or let's say missing pieces that I felt as we were doing this brand relaunch, was the business didn't have its own app. And it's hard to talk about innovation, hard to talk about a forward thinking company when you don't even have, you're not even in the handheld, you know, world of your customers. So, as you know, we spun it up really quick. We had a really quick internal regroup. We all agreed that this was something we're all going to endorse. And I think within 4 weeks from inception, I think that's when we signed off the RFP with you guys,
Yeah,
and then it
yeah.
went into full production.
What results did it achieve for you, for the business?
Yeah, so look, the main result was probably one of the biggest ones, that we want to be an app first organization at some point. The mobile app, I we always felt that it was a big, massive opportunity that could help, innovate the company in terms of like how we can create better efficiencies and it's a better customer experience. Um, and in terms of like, you know, what came out of it, with very little, with no marketing push, meaning we didn't really do anything exciting. We just launched the app on the app stores. We were quite conservative because this is the first time we've had an app. And
Yeah.
then I think within a few weeks we had 30,000 downloads.
Wow, wow. And
Yeah,
what was?
so
Sorry, go ahead.
that's with zero marketing. We didn't promote it to our customers. We just let it sit there, and so customers were organically going to look for an app to see
Which
what they could do.
which really shows what made you select Rocket Lab over competitors. Were there anything that really
Mm.
stick out, or what was the main reasons from Superloop and from your perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I think what really stood out with Rocket Lab was that they were homegrown. They were just around the corner, um, and quality quality was always a big. It's always a big discussion when you're building software, right? Like you can find, discounts overseas, but what we were looking for was a vendor and partner who could help us produce something really fast with that was really good. And
Yeah,
we knew the only way to do that was to do it onshore, to do it here, partner up with someone locally. Um, and we didn't necessarily want to throw a lot of developers to try and make it go faster. We just needed the right ones. So that was one of the reasonings that we had.
let's move into during the build process, during the whole, you know, initial V1 builds. Could you describe your experience working with us? What did you see? What did you like?
Yeah, I what I really liked is I'm very low touch manager when it comes to the granular level detail of of what needs to, the smaller things that need to happen so that bigger strategies get executed. So it was really important for me that I could rely on trust in the people that are running it and building it, to have that granular level and to know when to communicate to me. So, for example, what was really important was that we did a really thorough UAT. Um, it was something that I knew we had to do, but I just expected it to be done. And it got to the point where I was like, hang on a minute, did we make sure we captured it? And then your team came back, it's like, yeah, we've beautifully documented it here. This is what our testing plan looks like. We showed that testing plan to our executives, and they were like very satisfied that this was being managed very, very carefully and very, with the utmost importance.
How likely are you to recommend Rocket Lab to other people?
Yeah, I mean, very, very likely. As you know, I've already recommended you to a few people that in the process of engaging you, from my understanding. So yeah, would definitely recommend you for any of
Perfect.
those partnerships.